It's our 15th birthday, folks. Can we have some noise? Raise the roof. Raise the roof is so millennial, no, pre-millennial. If you have to be very Gen Alpha about it, it should have been 6s, 7s. Yeah. So, I prepared this 24 hours ago, and every question that I've addressed here has already been asked of me in the first 30 minutes. So I'm glad I did what I did. First, why this venue? Why did you move from St. Regis? People are surprised that when we tell them we had 7 Blume days before St. Regis. So Breach Candy Club, Willingdon Club, Tote on the Turf, BKC Trident, and then we discovered St. Regis. Actually, it was our budget that discovered St. Regis. We couldn't afford anything like that before. We were pioneers of that space when we decided in 2018. We moved there in 2019, actually in anticipation of our 10th anniversary. And the irony of ironies, for 7 years we've been at St. Regis. The one event that we didn't have in person was our 10th anniversary because it was COVID. And so it was the prior one and the next one was the last party before COVID, the first party after COVID, and then of course everyone looks forward to Blume Day. But then we decided this is an apt venue to celebrate what will be our 15th Blume Day. So, and then the other thing that happened is the crowd just descended on our favorite venue. Last 2 years I've been to almost 10 venture private equity events every year at the St. Regis in the same hall that we host. So much like our VC avatar, we basically said when everyone and their aunt enters the space, it's time for the early stage pioneer to leave. So I was there last evening, another one of those events. Of course, the question was inevitably asked by many people who are going to come this evening, how come Blume Day is not at Regis this year? And I said, dude, Blume Day has left the building. So Harsh's video, Jatin, can we have the video? So our colleagues stitched up a lot of our history. We left the floor to them. They came up with all the creativity. So through my speech, you'll see some wonderful videos made by them. Yeah.
Angel investors Karthik Reddy and Sanjay Nath conceptualized Blume in 2010. Spent the next 10 months talking to over 300 investors and high net worth individuals, of whom 55 helped them raise India's first all-domestic angel fund.
Really to be that bridge after the first sort of founding, friends and family, or people say friends, family and fools, sense FFF. After that round and before the VCs, there's a huge gap, and the model is basically ready to fill that gap.
Network, Karthik Reddy and Sanjay Nath gave up their day jobs in 2010 to start up on their own with Blume. And perhaps the best way to describe what Blume Ventures is looking to do is to say that they put angel investing in high-speed mode.
Our friend Sanjay and me, we met through Mumbai Angels. And then Ashish came from my past experience at Times Group. So I'm also this believer that when you connect the dots back, all experiences happen for a certain reason.
Times are changing and we want to make sure that there's enough transparency in the startup ecosystem. We want to do our 2 bits to make sure everybody's on the same page and people appreciate and understand why things are going.
Blume Ventures recently closed its second fund at $60 million.
As investors, we're seen as check writers, but what people don't realize is the earlier you go in the life cycle of a company, founders are looking for help on anything and everything possible. So how does a team of 4 or 5 people actually help?
We consider Karthik more of a co-founder investor rather than a pure VC.
Blume today has 70 companies and more than 125 founders. At this scale, even a Google groups of founders delivers massive value to everyone.
Announce it soon. We already announced the first close of our Fund 3. And we'll end up somewhere between 80 and 100 million.
Support that we have a platform team. And the platform team has been very active in organizing, having CTO meetups, Chief Product Officer meetups. We've had, we had somebody like Deep Kalra, the chairman of Make My Trip, and as a supporter, talk to about 8 to 10 of our Delhi-based founders. Your work really starts after you've cut the check, and I think that is a big part of what we do, right? It's not just about investing and spending time in the boardroom, but how do you actively help the company with fundraising, with hiring.
Homegrown venture fund Blume Ventures has announced the closing of its Fund 4 at over $250 million, bringing the firm's assets under management to over $600 million.
We were tiny. We were like 20, 60, 100 and 290. So it took 10 years of proving that something was going right before investors trusted us with a lot more capital. And that's all we have in primary capital.
And the real test for Blume begins now, as their first crop of startups are almost ready for their next round of nurturing. Will they make the cut for Series ABC? We'll keep you posted. We'll keep you posted. We'll keep you posted.
Thank you. As you can all see, Shireen Ban hasn't aged one day, but all the founders, friends, family, and fools have all aged by 15 years. And so here we are 15 years later, forever grateful for all the support that all our families provide in these journeys. If all the family members of all the Blume team folks are here in the audience, can you just stand up for a minute? And please give them a round of applause. They're the ones who make us look good here. Yeah. Yeah, get up. No one wants to get. Okay. Yeah, so all the Fafadias, the Naths, the Singhs, the Reddys, and whoever else is there. Thank you again. 15 years is a passage of time that seems immense when you've graduated from your late 30s to your early 50s, which is Sanjay and me. We see marriages, separations, births, deaths of companies, of people. We lose folks permanently who are part of the journey. In 2022, if you remember, we paid tribute to 3 founders. We lost Sameer Bangara of Qki, Naveen Sadrangani of Glamorous, Ken Tai of Hybrant. I want to take a moment this year to pay tribute to 3 family members who love celebrating all things Blume. My dad, who I lost last year. I didn't expect that, sorry. Sanjay's sister-in-law, Duhita, who left us abruptly on the verge of her 50th birthday and always brought a smile, joy to the Blume Day celebrations. And actually, I picked Tina Singh, who I call Tina Babi, who never made it to a Blume Day. Small story about her. For almost 9 years of Blume, I rarely stayed in a Delhi NCR hotel. Praveen and Tina always offered their home, whatever the hour, whatever the day, whoever was visiting them, there was always a bed for Karthik. The COVID wave took her prematurely, else she would be standing on a chair here and waving the Blume flag on. She also referred me to my last employer, the Times Group. Shiva is here. Thanks for coming, Shiva, who's my last boss in life, which is where I met Ashish, Sajid, Alok, 3 of Blume's leadership. So this milestone would have just felt a little incomplete without mentioning her. So thanks to my Delhi family. The point of the story was that the first 7-8 years were brutal. Many such bedrooms were offered to the VC who was visiting from Mumbai. It doesn't just take a village to build a VC, but a small town to build one great VC firm. So thank you, everyone. Personal lives apart, we thought we should show you a capture of what we do in our working moments, which are a dominant slice of our life. And so we want to show a quick reel of the OG selfie kings of this country. Yeah. Sorry if we missed a pic of anyone there. I can assure you we have a selfie with almost everybody in this auditorium who's a Blume here. I'm sure we have one. We have selfies of dogs, kids, marriages, anything you can dream of. I remember a question on my first podcast as a guest 10 years ago. I had a couple of MBAs, so the host Deepak almost have to ask the cliched question, what don't they teach you at business school? And I remember saying back then that the most untrue statement in life is it's just business, nothing personal. It works for Hollywood, I think. It doesn't work for life. Everything, just everything I think in the venture business is about people, and everything is personal. The business is just a lovely side effect of great relationships. Every important team member, every long-term customer, every investor who truly matters in this long, arduous journey, all of them are looking for authenticity and trust today, not simply printing money. You're free to make your choices, but I can proudly and confidently state that everyone in this room that's a part of the core Blume Nation are such citizens. It's all about people, I think, else don't bother being a venture capitalist, I keep telling myself. And I don't think any AI, for that matter, is going to replace us anytime soon. On that note, a virtual toast to all of you here in the room, founders, friends, family, who helped build Blume. And many toasts outside after the bar opens. The Blume tea, which is what I was called to launch, but I said I have other things to say. The Blume t-shirt is an emotion one wears every year, not on their sleeve, but on their chest, close to the heart. It's always been a reflection of what Blume's going through in its inner self and a dominant segment of our founder journeys at that particular point of time each year. So that's what motivates each year's winning slogan. We have two companies on stage a little later today, PhonePe and our very own Turtle Mint, both going IPO very soon. All their road shows just started last week or this week. If you ask them about their 10-year journeys, which started at about the same time, 2015, I would probably bet that every tea was a transient or an end-state emotion for each of their journeys. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we do the Blume tea. Jatin. For all the Dylan fans, and I don't know how you found the video, Harsh, but you know, they actually caught Ashish saying the times they're changing. Obviously, the idea was to talk about how the orbits of this entire ecosystem are shifting, and we obviously borrowed from Bob Dylan, the times they're changing, the orbits that are shifting. Orbit shifts in electrons are enabled, as you know, by bursts of external energy. And there's a inclination by nature, the nature is to slip back into the easier lower orbit. But I think if you want to achieve greatness in venture, you have to keep shifting outwards. And I speak for all my founders. Further and further away from the original nucleus. And today's startup ecosystem in India as a whole is navigating that orbit shift in ways unthinkable a decade ago. Billion-dollar companies are dreaming of becoming $10 billion company. The 10 billion ones are charting trajectories to $100 billion companies, unthinkable 10 years ago. A new age of entrepreneurship, new India, and we are all here witnessing these orbit shifts. Welcome again to Blume Day 15. And I will leave you with a short video as how we mapped and played our small role in the last 15 years of orbit shifts in the Indian startup ecosystem. Thank you.
वेंचर इन्वेस्टिंग में हम अक्सर रिजल्ट्स की बात करते हैं, कौन स्केल हुआ, कौन कैटेगरी लीडर बना, लेकिन असली काम उससे काफी पहले शुरू हो जाता है। जब मार्केट क्लियर नहीं होता, डेटा पूरा नहीं होता और ट्रेंड्स सिर्फ हल्की सी मूवमेंट जैसे दिखते हैं, उस वक्त डिसीजंस सिर्फ नंबर्स देखकर नहीं लिए जाते, वो पैटर्न्स समझकर लिए जाते हैं, फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल से लिए जाते हैं। ये वीडियो वही फेस कैप्चर करता है जब हमने अलग अलग सेक्टर्स में लोगों के बिहेवियर और टेक्नोलॉजी के शिफ्ट्स को पहचाना और उन पर काफी पहले ही बिलीफ बिल्ड किया। ये सिर्फ कंपनीज की स्टोरी नहीं है, ये उन ट्रेंड्स की स्टोरी है जो आज इंडिया की ग्रोथ को शेप कर रहे हैं। बदलाव एक दिन में नहीं होता, न लोग एक दिन में बदलते हैं, न देश। रोज किए हुए छोटे छोटे एक्शंस ही बड़ा चेंज लेकर आते हैं। 2011 का इंडिया, आइडियाज थे पर इन्वेस्टर्स की तलाश थी, विजन था पर टेक्नोलॉजी का साथ चाहिए था, ताकि एस्पिरेशनल इंडिया के सपनों को रफ्तार मिले। हमने ग्रोइंग इंडिया की जरूरतों को समझा, हमने प्रॉब्लम के पैटर्न्स पहचाने, ट्रेंड्स को समझा और फिर इन्वेस्ट किया। सिर्फ आइडियाज पर नहीं, इरादों पर, सपनों पर नहीं, स्ट्रैटेजी पर। हमने एंटरटेनमेंट को कल्चर से मिलाया, शॉपिंग को डिजिटल बनाया, बाजार को स्क्रीन पर ले आए। हर एक क्लिक से हमने स्माइल को सीधे होम डिलीवर किया। हर ट्रांजैक्शन के साथ इंडिया ने हम पर और ज्यादा भरोसा किया। हमने हेल्थ को एनुअल रिमाइंडर से डेली हैबिट बना दिया। हर पल्स पर हमारी नजर रहती है, हर धड़कन का ख्याल रखते हैं, ताकि बेफिक्र होकर जिंदगी को जी भर के जिया जा सके। हमने हेल्थ के साथ साथ वेल्थ को भी बढ़ाया, इन्वेस्टमेंट और सेविंग्स के ऑप्शंस घर घर तक पहुंचाए। अब इंडिया अपने फ्यूचर में खुद इन्वेस्ट करता है। आज हम सिर्फ सॉफ्टवेयर नहीं, सिस्टम्स बिल्ड करते हैं। ऐसे सिस्टम्स जो बिजनेसेस को स्मार्ट बनाते हैं, जो सोचने का नया तरीका देते हैं और समय से कई कदम आगे चलते हैं। हमारी मशीन्स फैक्ट्रियों को सिर्फ चलाती नहीं, फ्यूचर रेडी बनाती हैं, क्योंकि इनमें सिर्फ मेटल नहीं, एक इनोवेटिव माइंड होता है। हमने यंग इंडिया को नॉलेज से जोड़ा, इरादों को हौसलों से थोड़ा थोड़ा मोड़ा, ताकि सपनों को नई उड़ान मिल सके, हर कोशिश को अपना आसमान मिल सके। अब रास्तों पर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी से पहिया घूमता है और सपने सड़कों के रास्ते मंजिलों से मिलते हैं। हम सूरज से भी दोस्ती रखते हैं, क्योंकि फ्यूचर उनका होता है जो पावर को सही तरीके से यूज करते हैं। अब हम आसमान से धरती को देखते हैं, खेतों को बाजारों से मिलवाते हैं, हवा को सांस लेने लायक बनाते हैं। हम फ्यूचर को हर दिन बेहतर बनाते हैं और हर दिन खुद को भी बेहतर करते जाते हैं। आज इन मजबूत इरादों को ब्लूम सल्यूट करता है, जो रुकते नहीं कभी। ब्लूम उनके साथ चलता है।